mind the memories of a pretty girl who was kind to me. I close my eyes, I almost see her face. When I can't, I try to smile.
So, you know, we discussed it, and then we just started introducing her to plays. You know, nothing too complex. You know, and I would say, well, by the time she was 7 or 8, she was in a church play. Then at the Central Academy, she was in Wizard of Oz. And that's how it got started. And, you know, we didn't want to dive into it too deep. Just want to see how she would react. And I mean, her stage presence was awesome. She would get up in front of people, would not be nervous, scared. She could remember her lines. It was perfect. It was really amazing to see. And that's why I like the whole acting thing that she's doing, because of the self-confidence. You know, you're building some really strong character traits there. You know, communication skills, self-confidence, being able to present yourself to others, you know, as well as social skills. You know, and that's really good for children at a young age to grasp. And, you know, it's nothing but a bright future after that. You keep building upon that, I think.
And what about Christopher? Was he kind of the same way? Just decided he wanted to, or?
Yeah, he's very outgoing. I don't know where he gets it from. But, yeah, he's a ham for performing for people also. I mean,
he likes to dance,
Yes, he loves to dance.
He took dance for several years. And he's a good dancer.
Very cool.
Very cool.
He performs at school in the talent shows. And he's not afraid or bashful either. Not at all.
Dave's very quiet, so
I'm reserved. Yeah, every family has a reserved one. It balances it out. So yeah.
He's the reserved one.
I'm surrounded by really outgoing people.
But it is.
It seems to work.
It does work. You know why? Because we turn to him for that calming force. That that sedated moment where Daddy's thinking, contemplating what's going to happen next. But
the other thing about our family, there's very rarely a serious moment in this house. You know, it's always funny and, you know, cutting up. And we just enjoy our time together.
Yeah.
We'll go play golf. It's just right down the road. When after dinner, we have nothing else to do. We just go. Yeah, it makes it fun. We don't have really a set plan. Enjoy life.
Yeah, we just kind of make it happen. You know, you just do it. And that's, I think, what's been nice about this whole process is that you do just have to take on that mentality, and you just have to do it, you know, and the kids understand after homework, I need to go study my script, okay, or let's run lines, or can you listen to me do this? Sure, I'll listen to you. Can you talk to me about this part? Yeah, so it is just part of our daily life here, and so it just becomes, you know, Dave will do lines with them, or he'll sit on the couch and we'll run lines, and he'll ask questions about the production and who is it and why, and all that kind of stuff. So,
well, with Christopher being involved now, it makes it even easier for them to do lines together. You know, they can go back and forth.
Big help, I'm sure.
It
is a big help.
They can read it to each other. You know, like I'll read the script to him, and he'll say his lines, or he'll help me. You know, he'll read the script to me, and I'll say my lines, and then we'll give each other tips after, you know, like, oh, you could, you know, change this a little bit, make it sound, you know, more like, for brother-sister things, you know, we're really good at tipping each other on that. If it doesn't sound right, it's like, you can change this and make it sound more like you would say it to me, or it's really helpful, you know, having him being able to help me and me being able to help him.
It's like a lot of families will have traveling sports teams, and they travel all over the Southeast. This is kind of like our traveling sports team. Yeah, you know, one day you could be in this city, the next weekend you're in this city.
Yes.
You know, that's their hobby, and you know, we should support it the best we can.
You know, little girls cheer, and they do traveling cheering and traveling dance, and you know, they travel, and this is traveling. This is what this is. You know, it's a very independent activity until you're on set, and it becomes a team sport, and you become part of the team, and so the team has to work really well together, And she's experienced that with other adults, and the adults that we've met in the Charlotte film community especially. I could never promote the Charlotte film community enough. I could go on commercial after commercial and say what an amazing group of people that is. That is what truly opened doors for her. Once we found out about their monthly meetings, we're there. Now, recently she's been working a lot, and so we've not been able to make it to the monthly meeting. But at the very beginning of her, starting all of this to get her name out there, the networking was crucial. And so we would go to those meetings, and they have a piece of that meeting where you do go to a group of people and you go around the circle and introduce yourself and talk about yourself. And here she was, 9, 10 years old, and she went right into this group of people and all these adults. It was hilarious because I would just sit at the table and all the adults would lean in to hear her because there's 100 people talking at the same time. Everybody was just incredible, and so that's our friend base is the Charlotte film community. And so she was able to make a lot of good connections and network through them and get on sets that way very quickly because people say, I know a little girl, wait, who's that little girl? What was her name again? What was, Carly, Kayla, Haley? So once her name started circulating more, then and Christopher will start going to the meetings in the fall, and we'll start getting his name out there to start networking him to get into some productions. So those are great meetings. I would encourage anybody that's starting in this process in this area, go to those meetings because it will open doors for you that you're not going to be able to open on your own.
It will help you.
It will help you tremendously.
Yeah, I don't think there's actually been a director, actress, or anything that we've actually talked to in the Charlotte area that hasn't said basically that.
That exact same
It's a great
thing.
community to be a part of, like get involved with it as soon as possible.
Yeah, and bring business cards and bring pictures of yourself, and it's weird, but they want you to talk about yourself. They want you to tell who are you, what can you do, what can you bring to a production, and why should you be a part of it? And it's great. And people network all through Facebook and that same avenue. Once they meet you at the film meetup, that night you have 6 friend requests, and all of a sudden you have 6 new friends, and there you go. 6 new connections, that's exactly right. So I would encourage anybody in this area to go to those meetings. Julie Evans and Haven Wilson have done phenomenal things with that group in a very short time. So I would encourage anybody to get to be a part of that.
But just in going to the meetings and everything like that, seeing different people come in, do you see a lot of child or young adult actors, and do you end up getting to meet with their parents and networking everybody through there?
Yeah, I'm meeting more now as time is going on. I think that kids are doing a lot of theater in this area, and then they're transitioning over into film, and so it's totally different. Film and theater are 2 completely different avenues. So they may have done theater for a while and now just want to explore something different. We have met lots of kids who are wanting to step into film and begin that process. At auditions, we typically, because Kayli's range, her age range, is younger to about her current age because she can play younger roles. So it's nice because she's 12 but can still play a 9-year-old because she's not real big. She's not real tall, so that helps her out a lot. So we do see a lot of the same kids at the auditions who are younger than her. But I'm seeing a few more kids stepping into that arena of film and trying to secure roles that way. And it does take a lot of commitment on the part of the parents. And I see new moms at the meetings, and invariably somebody will say, you need to talk to Janna, because if you're new to this, she's been doing it, and I've met great moms, and I am probably blatantly honest with them when I tell them that this is not a cheap hobby. This is not something that you can just do half. You're in it all the way, or get ready to get in it all the way, because it does take money to drive your car and get the headshots and the auditions and the clothing and hair, and you have to be ready at a moment's notice. And so I do get to talk to a lot of newer moms and say, and I'll help anybody. I don't care who you are. If you have questions, and I've told all my mom friends, and I'll ask questions. I still don't know everything. Every day I learn something different, but I am noticing more kids are trying to step into the film arena and the Charlotte film community group embraces kids. They're really very thoughtful in their meetings when it comes to children being there. So it's nice when they screen a short, they'll say, you know, this is probably not for the under 18 crowd. And so typically I go out and I have a little group of friends and we'll sit out there and drink some Pepsi until the short's over, and then we all go back in. But there are lots of good child actors in this area, and they have good agents that are pushing to get them out there and get their name out there. And we're fortunate to have Beverly Brock as their agent in North Carolina, and they both have representation in Louisiana. Kayli's got Georgia, New York, and we're investigating California at this point. So she's very good about making sure that the kids are known and getting their names out there, just like any agent would do, a good agent would do. So I'm noticing more kids that are trying to get into film and be able to secure the role. So it's been good, you know, make new friends. Yeah.
What are the actual just serious drawbacks of trying to make this type of thing work? Especially with both having jobs and the kids being in school.
Conflict of schedule would be one. You know, sometimes you have to put things on the back burner. You know, if you have a weekend trip planned and then the director calls and wants your child, you pretty much have to go. You have to commit. You know.
I don't know that that's a pitfall though. See,
No,
but you do sacrifice family. You do. You sacrifice time. You sacrifice time.
Wear and tear on an automobile.
Money.
You know, a lot of times you don't get any compensation for things like that. You know, but
money is a huge issue. Just because you're typically starting out, you are working on productions that are non-paid. And not that that's bad. It's a phenomenal experience, and it's getting your name into circulation. But it is your time, it's your gas, it's your clothing, it's your food, it's, you know, all of those things. And that, I don't know that it's a pitfall, but it's a definite piece to the puzzle that you have to consider. You know, do we get to go out to eat as much as we used to?
you have to readjust your budget.
You do. And you have to be thoughtful in your purchases, and you have to be aware of the possibility that someone could want them in Wilmington. And I gotta have money for gas, I gotta get them there, you know. I think another pitfall is the fact that the impression in Hollywood of child actors is that they all start out cute and pretty, and then they all go crazy and do drugs, and then they end up on the front page of some magazine where all the mothers are like, I don't want that to be my baby. They're not all like that. They don't all end up crazy like that. So I think that if you keep the family unit intact and you keep your communication lines open and you maintain a sense of normalcy as best as you can, and you still expect childlike things from them. I still expect homework and behavior, and they are not perfect by any stretch of the. They are still children. They are still 12 and 9. They make mistakes, and it's okay. You know, we work around those, and we figure out what to do about that. But you know, they're not all going to grow up and be drug addicts and crazy. And we have, right? Promise. But I think that that's what a pitfall is too, is that when I initially tell people that that's what they do, I almost say, no, like seriously, that's what they do. And then they're like, oh, seriously, like that's what they do. And yeah, seriously, that's what they do. So I think people see this as just something fun. It's just something fun. And especially when she was 9 starting, it was just something fun. And it is fun.
It's still fun now, but it's not like, oh, I'm just going to go try this. It's like a job. It's main commitment, #1 priority, besides school. I mean, school comes way before this. But I mean, this is sort of like a second career. You can't just, you know, say, oh, I'm going to do this for fun, you know, and then people want you to come, and then you're like, oh my gosh, it's too much, I can't do this anymore. I mean, you have to get used to that, because that's usually what happens. It's just people hear your name, and if you're a good actor, you know, or actress, people are going to start wanting you. And if you can't handle it, then, I mean, people always do think, okay, my friend actually walked up to me one day and she was like, Kayli, what do you do? Like, how did you start into this? And I was like, oh, well, I did a play. And they're like, well, how do you go to all these places? I'm like, if you want to do this, you really, because she was a cheerleader. And I was like, if you want to do this, you're going to have to quit cheerleading. You're really going to have to quit doing any other activities, hanging out with your friends. Because I see my friends all the time put up on Facebook, you know, I'm hanging out with so-and-so at their house today. And, you know, I can't put that on my Facebook because I don't know what's going to happen the next day. And I can't go ahead of schedule. I have to live each day by day. And so, I mean, that's what I told her. And she's like, oh, I didn't know that. And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's not just you go out there and you book something right off the bat. I mean, it takes time and effort. And she's like, oh, okay.
And that was the conversation we had to have when she did start middle school, was about the cheerleading piece, because all her friends were trying out for cheerleading. And I said, go get the book and we'll look at it and see. And they made it very clear in there that when you become a cheerleader, that is
You're a cheerleader.
You are a cheerleader.
It's like acting. You start acting, you're an actress or an actor. I mean,
so we talked about it, and I let her decide. I said, you know, if you don't want to act anymore, that's fine. If you want to try out for cheerleading, that's fine. If you make it for cheerleading, just understand that, you know, there's no more acting. And she said, okay. And so 2 long days and nights of thinking, right? Yeah. A little crying, you know, a little conflicted there. What do I do? What do I do? All my friends are doing this, but this is what I want to do. And she came to me and said, I think I want to keep acting. And I said, okay. I said, now next year we're going to have the same conversation again, right? She's like, yes. And it's never come up again. She's never asked me again about cheerleading or any other activity. You know, she does play basketball. She does play soccer.
She started tennis lessons.
Started tennis lessons this summer. So
I mean, she gets to be a child. It's not like this is all she ever does.
Right.
Read script and go to set. I mean, yeah. She was at the 4th of July parade with her bag getting candy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was waiting for them to grow.
She gets to be a child.
Yeah, so that's,
we make sure.
and that's the thing about a pitfall, I think, is that it's put out there that this is all that kids do when they go to Hollywood or whatever.
That's where the balance comes in with the family. To make
Yeah.
sure she's doing other things.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like we're looking for the next superstar on Disney Channel. You can't go into it with that approach.
Right.
Because then you'll just be left with disappointment. You know, you have to look at it as to where she's doing. They're both doing something they like, and the skills that they're, you know, acquiring from what they're doing will help them.
Not that you wouldn't want to be the next Disney star.
I would like to be, but I know that it's not just going to come when I start. I mean, I've been doing this for almost 4 years, and I still haven't been on Disney Channel, you know? And so I don't hope for it. I just wait for it to happen, you know? You just have, acting is mostly maybe 85 to 90% waiting. You don't get something right off the bat, so you wait for projects. If you don't get it, you audition, you wait for another project. It's not all about the filming piece. It's about the waiting, being patient, not jumping on stuff like, oh my gosh, did they email me today to tell me? Oh my gosh, did they call us today to tell us? I mean, it's waiting, and you have to be patient. And that's I've gained a lot of patience doing this. And
you don't book everything you audition for.
No, I do not book everything I audition for.
I think people think she does.
Yes.
And being faced with that disappointment is good, because you learn how to overcome
Yes,
being
and then
disappointed.
and now it's to the point where it's like, okay, well, I didn't get this project, but you know, I still have this project, and
Let's go to Carolina's.
I mean, and I can still, you know, handle the disappointment better than when I first started and they said, oh, you didn't get this, and I was like, oh man, but I tried my hardest. You know, now I know that it's not because you didn't try your best. It's because maybe you weren't right for the part. Maybe you weren't tall enough. Maybe they wanted someone older, younger. You know, it's not just that they didn't like you, that you were bad. I mean, it's probably because you didn't have the right look, or you were too old, or you looked too old. So, I mean, now I just know that it's not because, oh, they didn't like my audition, you know, and they'll call you back, and that's how you know that they did like you, but you just didn't fit the role.
Christopher had an audition for a pretty big feature, and the audition was quite extensive, and he really did a phenomenal job, and it got submitted to his agent in Louisiana. And he called me and said, I can't even imagine like how you got him to get through. I mean, it was a lot. It was a huge audition, the biggest one he's ever done. And it's based on a true story. And so he looked just like the little boy. I mean, it was incredible. And the agent was like, I will be shocked if he doesn't at least get a call back, you know. And he didn't get anything. And so the agent called me and he said, okay, I need to prepare you because he didn't get anything. And I said, okay. And I said, do we know why he didn't get anything? He said, the child that they booked looks about 6 or 7 years old. And I said, so it wasn't anything he did or didn't do or anything? And he said, no. Oh, no, it was, you know, great. And I said, okay, you know, and that happens. And so I explained it to him, and we saw a picture of the little boy that had booked the role, and he looks considerably younger than Christopher. And that was just something that happens, right? We saw a picture of that little boy, and we thought he was cute, and I'm sure he's going to do a great job, and I'm sure he'll do exactly what they want him to do. And were you disappointed that you didn't get that role?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Because this was a true story, and I was very shocked for the mothers and fathers that these kids had and what these kids had to go through.
So he really did a good job with the audition, and you know, it happens, and you know, that's part of the game is the disappointment piece. So I don't know if that's a pitfall, but it helps build you as a person to get ready. You know, every job interview you go to, you don't get that job.
Right.